with my brother Ben Stream, Coach Ben Stream, Jiu-Jitsu athlete, coach, champion, world champ.
Thanks, Professor. Good to see you again, Alberto.
Yeah, man. Entering into the metaverse once again.
Yeah, we're back. Man, a lot's changed since we last met up here, man. You know, the game is just evolving into something even I can't even, and nobody can really put into words, man. Like, it's literally a universe that's expanding every single, like, second, almost as fast as the real universe, which is trippy. Yeah, the NFT thing is just
going crazy, huh?
Taking off into a whole other platform. Yeah, dude, like NFTs now are used as like big, I'm noticing, in promotional tools, you know, for like, hey man, we're only minting like 20 of these NFTs. Oh, you want to like get in, you know, and like you take this NFT and you can get exclusive access to like this content that we're doing. Isn't that crazy? They're like, NFTs are like turning into keys to get like VIP passes and like exclusive,
like that Bored Ape Yacht Club, right?
Mm-hmm. The BAYC, the Bored Ape Yacht Club. Yeah, that's what it's turned into, is communities, man. And like, if the community gives the art piece the value, then, you know, it's kind of then that's what the value of the art is. I mean, it's pretty interesting how everything is working, man. I mean, you got kids that are like 20 years old that want to buy you know, digital real estate over real estate. Kids that have like,
what's the guy that was on Joe Rogan? He was like, man, you don't need rivers and trees and come on, man.
Yeah.
The metaverse is where it's at.
Yeah, that guy's hilarious. I forget that guy's name, but yeah, no, exactly. Like, you have kids with like, again, 8 figures, bro. You know, and it's all on the blockchain. Do you know what I mean? And like, they're living with literally in their parents' attic, like in their parents' basements, bro.
Yeah, I saw like a meme, like, right, when, you know, 1980 or 1990, whatever, right? A millionaire looked like this, right? Like, dressed well and all that. And, you know, 2022, millionaire looks like, you know, in the bedroom, all messy, right? Like, mom's bedroom.
Yeah, exactly.
At home, living at home.
Yeah, there's a bunch of memes. Yeah, that's what this market does to you, man. Like, the circles under your eyes, staring at I'm in bull market fatigue too, man. Like, I guess, just not to get too technical, if Bitcoin closes below 44 this month, they say we're officially in a bear market. So that's like one thing to look out for. I personally believe Bitcoin dominance or whatever, kind of separating right now from like the domination of Bitcoin, because it's still a $2 trillion market cap, you know, and Bitcoin's about, I don't know, just top right here, like $700 billion asset out of a $2 trillion. So it's like the dominance is kind of shrinking, you know. You can find a bull market. Me and my boy Cody talk about it a lot.
I mean, like last couple of weeks, right? Well, now, like last night, you know, I don't know when this thing's gonna come out, but you know, this last few weeks, right? Last month, really, you know, everything, Bitcoin was like down, Ethereum's down, everything's down, like the big ones, right? And Phantom Chain that you called on, way back when, last spring, maybe, was like, you know, like it's gone up 20-30%. The Boo coin, all those things, you know. Yeah,
those are coins within the ecosystem of Phantom. Yeah, like Boo. So I mean, my play still to make it, or whatever you want to call it, is just buying the ecosystem coins on a up and coming blockchain like a Solana and an AVAX, and those guys are reaping all the rewards right now. You know, I don't think it's quite. I mean, this is a pretty bad nuke, dude. As we speak, we're like at $37,000 Bitcoin.
Bitcoin,
yeah. So it's like, we'll see if everybody has the liquidity to can scrape the liquidity to like buy this dip. But I don't think we're done, man. I think it's just.
I mean, it goes up and it goes down. That's the game.
We're
right?
in it for the long run, bro. And
it goes up and it goes down, you know.
So 2020, the Bitcoin low is 3,000 when COVID happened.
The thing is, when I talk to people about it, like accountants and things, how do you get the money out, right, into the real world?
Yeah, you have to have a fiat on ramp, which is what the banks have the stranglehold over. So like, even though the banks don't control Bitcoin, they still control when you cash out of Bitcoin. That's the
cash out.
Yeah, but there's a few apps. I'm not going to be like the snitch or whatever, but I mean, it's out there. It's illegal. It's called Tornado Cash. kind of like a mixer where you can. This is what the guy that hacked Crypto.com did. He sent it to
yeah, these centralized exchanges, right? They're supposed like Coinbase and Crypto.com now, right? The Staples Center is now Crypto.com.
Yeah, and then they just had a hack for 18 million. It keeps coming out every day. Like it was 15 million, now it's like 18 million. I don't know. It's hard because if you don't know like what 2FA, two-factor authentication is, it's that thing where it spits out the number on your phone. They make sure it's you. You know what I mean? Like, so they have your phone number. Right, there's no way anybody could go around that. I mean, how does that get hacked? That's almost unhackable unless somebody has your cell phone, or your computer. So like,
how do they do that?
So it has to be someone from the inside, man. That's what everybody says. And like where we can trace it. This is what is great about crypto, because when that happens, we can trace it. But when this happens in centralized, like big banks, I mean, that's just like, that's nothing. They're siphoning 18 million off the top is like nothing for those guys. But this, everybody followed it, all the researchers, the guys on Twitter, and it just turned out that like they mixed it with Tornado Cash and sent it to a few other like empty anonymous addresses, basically, where then that becomes where you can't trace it. You know what I mean? But if it was like a hack where like I sent it to my like wallet where like my email was linked to, then that's easy traceable. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that.
How do you set up a wallet without trace?
Well, you get a sock puppet email address. I mean, we're talking about that. You get a burner email address, Trust Wallet, right there. You know what I mean? Because even when I don't even think.
But don't you have to do like the identity, like the ID and stuff?
For email, no, I don't even think Yahoo Mail or something like that. It's just boom, boom, click, click. I don't even think they send anything to your phone or anything like that. Then you just get
Trust Wallet. Just like like your ID and your ID, like your information basically. You
mean like your IP address,
the KYC,
Well, no, you don't need that for an address. See, like there's an app called Trust Wallet. Trust Wallet. All Trust Wallet is just addresses for SHIT coins and Bitcoin. So it's like you could, in some ways, like send some money through there. You don't need an email address with your name, is what I'm saying.
The WikiLeaks guy, right? What's his name? Julian Assange. He has like supposedly like billions of dollars in.
Yeah, something like that.
Or at least $1 billion in Bitcoin.
Something like that.
And they're not able to take it, obviously. So how does that work?
Well, because he's got the keys to the access of it. So they'd have to have the keys. They'd have to have his seed phrase, which is why like self-custody of Bitcoin is like the best. You're your own bank. Nobody can really open that unless. But
how can he get it out?
Oh, he can get it out and send it, I'm pretty sure, wherever he wants to. But then, like, where it goes to that address.
Or he can give it to somebody and they can get it out.
Exactly. Those kind of things. There's mixers. It's like, not to, like, talk too technical about it, but, like, Tornado Cash is like a mixer. Like, it kind of mixes the transactions so they can't be traced, kind of. Not to, like, talk about, that kind of stuff. But, like, yeah, they control the fiat on-ramp, basically. So you have all these kids in the metaverse.
VPN, right? So like it tells you you're in another country.
Yeah,
you can have
virtual
access to
private identity. Yeah. Those are legal. This isn't like illegal stuff.
Yeah.
You can buy these in the App Store, to get around things that are blocked in your, like for example, some of the stuff on Phantom that I use is blocked in the United States. You have to use VPNs to get around it, which is just, this shows you how behind the United States is, dude. Why do I have to say that I'm in Portugal or like Bulgaria,
Yeah, man, like the Phantom chain, like using Ethereum blockchain, it's like so slow, so expensive, and with all the NFTs and stuff
clogging the
it's like another world now, right? Like, I mean, it's been ongoing and growing and getting more congested and more expensive.
Yeah,
it almost doesn't make sense, right? Every time you have to deal with it.
No, it doesn't, and that's where these bridges are coming in handy to where you can just bridge your money, which is what we use, Spooky Swap. There's bridges everywhere now. It's like not just there, but even now decentralized exchanges have bridges built into them, which is a new kind of thing in the last like 5 or 6 months. But yeah, that's going to be the narrative now, I swear. The whole year is people getting off of Ethereum. Dude, it's ridiculous. I mean, you're talking $800 fees, $500 fees to move a couple $1,000s. That's just not, it hurts the little guy, so it's like, it's hard to pump.
But how does it make sense business-wise for the big guys, like to move
It doesn't. That's what
$1 million, and you have to pay.
Dude, like,
$600,000 to move it.
Here's people.
How does that make sense?
Here's the thing right now. Ethereum Maxi will be like, oh, we're the ultimate settlement layer, meaning like all transactions get settled in the dollar basically around the world. So like Ethereum's like, oh, we're the ultimate settlement like layer, but you're not, because like put it this way, I'm not gonna name his name, but I just had to help my friend out, so he wouldn't get liquidated. So I gave him $1,000, But like I can't like Venmo. I don't have that money in my bank account, to be honest with you. So like, how did I get? I got the Bitcoin. So like, I put the Bitcoin. Like I wasn't gonna give him $1,000 of Ethereum and send him the money on Ethereum because that would have cost me like $70-$80 or $50.
I see.
To be realistic, probably like $50. Why, when I can just send him $1,000 to his Bitcoin address? Now I think I spent 90 cents, sending it. So like that's why Bitcoin is the king. You're not paying that ridiculous fee.
So if you just send Bitcoin to Bitcoin,
yeah, okay, dude, it's nothing. It's like, that's why I would rather get paid in Bitcoin, because it costs your employer, it costs them 90 cents for the transaction. But if you tell your employer like, oh, I want to be paid in some of these, like shit coins and like this, they're gonna have to like go through like a maze just to pay you. But as far as Bitcoin, it's like, look, I got the Cash App, I got the Venmo now, I can buy the Bitcoin in, you know what I mean? And it's all.
Man, it's what a world, huh?
Like
adopted. some people, we did that Brian Rose course, right? And he has like his, him being a trader and all that. And he had the 10, laughing. Yeah, whatever, man. I was trying to, bro, that's why I love you. I'm always trying, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but always trying to learn, right? Putting myself out there. But the 10 coin rule, where he only watches 10 coins, right? Yeah. And after talking to you a little bit too, like, like it's like you get too scattered if you get too many coins. So it's kind of a good rule. It can be 12 coins, right?
I mean, man, I don't even want to look at my old MetaMask, like, because MetaMask will save all the coins you have. Oh my God. If you don't get rid of it, I got some weird coins in there. But yeah, you're 100% right. Is like, I forgot sidetracked what we were talking about, but yeah, I mean the 10 coin rule. What are your thoughts on it? The 10 coin rule, more like 5 or 4. If you really believed in these and you have conviction over whatever you want to say, over like volume, conviction over volume. So if you have like a volume of all these coins and you're like, oh man, this slot machine's gonna make me money, or like this musical chair, oh maybe it'll land over here, the hot potato. No, just like
if you're playing roulette and you put like you scatter it around. If it does get hit, if you have a stack of coins and a stack of chips, right, and you put them all around, scatter them around. If it hits the thing, cool, right? But if you put maybe all of your coins or
eggs in one basket,
that's what I think. And then you like.
That's worked the best for like people. Like,
not that it's like roulette, but like in a way, like I don't know.
It is like roulette. I mean, bro, it's what Professor George and I was talking about is musical chairs. It's just whatever's hot at that like second. You don't want to be holding, like the hot potato when the music stops, and then like you sit down in your chair, like now, right? The music stopped right now, right? So me and you are sitting down in our chairs. We're holding our bags of our crypto coins. And like right now our chair is safe because Phantom's doing okay. It didn't dump too bad. And the coins in the ecosystem, those are expected to kind of dump. But like, you don't want to be holding like Cardano right now or Ripple or, I think those are getting
Where's Cardano right
exit now? Liquidity. I don't know, probably like 115. Remember I told you to sell it like 2. I called that one for you too at the top. Yeah. I was like,
OB.
I was like, you got to get rid of that Cardano, bro. Oh man. Like I know a lot of people, because it's, cheap, it's in the top like 5, and you're like, oh man, that's.
Well, and then he's also the co-founder of Ethereum.
Right? Man, you get all
that's like his
selling point. You ain't done anything, bro. Still to this day, since my first podcast, I told you no smart contracts. They got something called Sunday swap, like chocolate Sunday, like a Sunday swap, bro. And the transactions are backlogged like 7 days.
Wow.
So if you go to like click a trade and you make it, you click like confirm. 7 days, because you can't use like MetaMask or anything with the Cardano chain. You have to use like their wallet and like their thing, and then like you make a thing 7 days. So they call it next Sunday swap, because
next Sunday swap. Wow.
Because you'll see your money next Sunday. Hopefully. I saw that joke. Not my joke.
Hopefully. I watched the Elon Musk podcast. I think the one he went on with Lex Friedman.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, right.
And it was funny, man. He was like, yeah, smart contracts, like it's I'm not smart enough to to understand smart contracts.
Bro, it's deep, dude.
How do you explain a smart contract?
Automation. It's just
AI.
It's because I've worked in the music business, so I can understand what automation is. Kind of how your setup is here. You just it's all automated. You just have to change an angle here and there, press a button, and then everything does it for you. That's kind of what smart contracts are. They're just like automated settlement agreements. That's like how I look at it. And dude, the funny thing is, it took me like 2 years to put all that into like what I just said.
And so, for example, yeah, right, yeah, that's pretty simple. I'm sure there's some
does that make
things
sense?
like some things where you just something's different, so you change those things around for that contract. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's like, so it's automated settlement there. Like, so if I were to say like, okay, the price of X, if it drops below like $30,000, and you were to take the other side of that bet, just to keep it simple, and say, well, it's going to go above that, to do that in a truly decentralized world, there needs to be a oracle, something that tells those two that, oh, it actually dropped below this price. So person A gets paid out. You know what I mean? Or if it goes above that price.
What is an oracle?
Person B, so Chainlink is. That's what person B gets paid out. So the oracle is the knowledge that tells it, oh, it hit this. This guy needs to be paid. That was always the problem with Bitcoin.
So it's it's an AI oracle.
Pretty much, yeah.
So it's an AI oracle. So it's like you have all these, what could happen, and they change it.
It's doing a lot of things, man. And even like, even my grasping of beyond this is even harder. But the basic smart contract, yes, is that. But now it's what Chainlink's doing is cross-chain thing. So now, like
what Quant was doing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
What Quant's doing.
Exactly, kind of exactly what your company, QN, not your company, but the one, one of your bags, QNT, is doing. But yeah, getting all the blockchains now, because now there's billions on Cardano. There's billions on, well, not Cardano. There's like billions on AVAX, billions on Ethereum. So these chains to transfer from one to another to avoid all this nonsense of bridging and fees and this.
Yeah.
There needs to be some kind of like unanimous cross-chain agreement where all these things can talk to each other. That's the next level. So, but until that happens, there's the new thing is like roll-ups and zero-knowledge proofs. Bro, it's so...
What's a roll-up?
Oh my God, it's just like basically what is enabling you to bridge from like one thing to another thing. It takes it off the chain and it does like off-chain computing, so it's not as congested. All this is just because Ethereum is congested, bro. That's like the only reason all this stuff is even, because when you're waiting for those transactions and, those minutes, and sometimes it can be 30 minutes, you've waited and you're like, God dang, man, my uni swap didn't even, hasn't swapped yet. And then sometimes the failed transactions, it's all just because it's clogged, with bots and everything. So all these are just solutions to work around these things, which is why Ethereum is bad. I still think you haven't waited 3 years for these, solutions, but my first like transaction on Ethereum was like nothing, bro. It was like $3-4. And we're like we're like 10 times that, 100 times that now, So that's like a scaling thing. So these are all scaling solutions. It's all so technical, bro. And then you look at Bitcoin, it's already done, dude. It's like a finish.
If you have Elon Musk saying, I'm not smart enough to understand that smart contract.
I'm not, dude. There's like one guy. There's one guy.
Like, what do you thought? I heard him say that. I'm like, oh man,
bro, it's so deep. I'm like, no, for the common guy, I think like for a computer developer, engineering guy, it's a little bit easier to grasp, But the only guy that really has the knowledge is the CEO of Chainlink, man, Sergey. He's a genius. Yeah, man. If you get Sergey on here, that'd be awesome, man.
Where does he live?
I don't know. Every time I see Sergey, he's on a computer screen. He might just be AI, bro. We don't know. No, I mean, we've seen him in person.
Did you watch The Matrix?
Yeah,
Resurrected.
Man. Yeah. Did you?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Man, I like the Matrix stuff, and right, it always comes down to love, and right, like, spoiler alert, right? But like, you know, like human connection. And so look, what was interesting for me, right? I always try to simplify like the one takeaway, right? Was in the old Matrix movies, it was us versus the machines pretty much, right?
Right, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, of course, all three of them, us versus the machines.
And in this one, it's us with the machines. We're together with the machines.
Yeah, that was pretty deep, and then it's pretty cool tech.
That's deep, man. That's deep. That's crazy.
Well, that's the thing that I found interesting was like, because when you look at these movies, those little pieces of tech that they're like giving you, you know, are like probably going to happen in the future. The thing where like the sand, you know, the
Right.
Like
a person.
Yeah, like one of those things, you know, where you like you put your hands on, it makes the imprint. That's pretty trippy. You know, to me, I was like, wow, the computer's like making particles, and then like it particleizes itself, and then the recreation of plants, you know, by taking what was in the Matrix, the code for the plants, the genetic plants, and then they bring it to the real world so they can grow plants again. You know, that was pretty interesting. But other than that, you know, it was no, it's all right.
Yeah. It's like I think it's the things that make you look a little bit deeper, right?
Yeah, that one is trippy. I was like, man, that's pretty interesting.
Well, you don't like the love saves the day.
Always.
It overcame the AI.
Universal theme forever, right? Dude, what's making the rounds on the internet right now? What's making the rounds on the internet right now is the Johnny Mnemonic movie, bro. Do you remember that one?
No, I didn't see it.
All right, he was like the biggest star in the world in '95 when like Speed came out. Remember?
Yeah.
He was like the king. Yeah, and then he made a couple stinkers in a row, you know, and then he's like, oh man, that guy's bad actor, you know.
Johnny Mnemonic.
Yeah, you gotta look it up. And then like you can even
how do you spell it?
MN. So like Johnny
Mnemonic.
Yeah, mnemonic. MN. I don't. It's bad.
Mnemonic.
MNEUM or whatever. Mnemonic. You can just type it in. It'll come up, and then type in 2021 predictions. Bro, it's wild. Bro, they're using ledgers. Like he's plugging in like Starlink stuff to his brain. It's pretty intense, man. Like you can tell, like the OG cyberpunks, whoever made Bitcoin, they definitely watched this movie. Like the currencies are digital, dude. It's really wild, bro. I mean, there's this scene in there where they're wearing masks in a protest. That's pretty wild, man. The future's all like dystopian, man. It's
How did they who wrote the thing?
I have no idea, but you just have to. And the whole movie's based in virtual reality, of course, in the metaverse. And like he puts on these goggles and he can like interact with like touching things that are like in the real world. That's the future, bro. It's like, remember I sent you that video? It's like augmented of what Meta kind of is going to show, where you put these goggles on, and if the people who like have things that like interact with the technology, then you're going to be able to go to the store. And then now when you go, oh, you don't have these cool things, you can get the special deal at the store. When you look here, no, he doesn't have the goggles. He can't get like the special code and scan it with his, you know, so it's like a way to shut people off in society too. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So like you're going to have to get these goggles just to see like, bro, and it shows the guy like paying, you know, the cashier and like pressing this, and it comes out of like his digital like wallet that's already connected inside the metaverse. Really trippy stuff, bro. I mean, so now it's going to be like VR and augmented reality, where it's like reality, but like, you know, you'll bring up a computer screen here, and you'll start typing here, and then like the virtual keyboard will start coming out, but you can't see it. But of course I can see it with my headset on, and I'm typing right here. Wild stuff, man. That's
until you get the chip, and then you just think about
bro, it's funny that like I'm talking about
once you get the chip, and then you don't need the goggles anymore. It's already in there.
And we talked about this. Once two humans sit down and put energy into this thought like we're putting into, it's probably going to happen. Like there's a path already written for what we're talking about. You know, for sure that's all going to happen, Professor. Your kids are going to be walking around with augmented reality goggles, bro. I've told you before, bro, I'm gonna quit when I have to. A droid walks in to Legacy Glendale and says, "Can you teach me Jiu-Jitsu?" You know what I mean? He's gonna memorize all the moves better than us. He's gonna be moving like, you know, the highest level of athlete.
Well, it's like the original Matrix movies. You put a thing in, like a chip or whatever, or a card. I want to be a Jiu-Jitsu black belt, and become a Jiu-Jitsu black belt in a few seconds.
Man, realistically, that's like what, 2100 year 2100 probably. Realistically,
I don't know. The exponential growth of technology.
Yeah, even sooner than that.
Part, yeah,
25 years, where it's like you have the neural link in the brain, and then you just plug in the chip, and then like, oh, I've learned every jiu-jitsu move. then your body just like knows all the movements, you know, bro. It's gonna be.
I remember I asked you, like, what do you call, like, the crypto space and all that, and you're like, man, the metaverse. That was the first time I heard that term, the metaverse.
Yeah.
And then sure enough, Facebook, like a month later, says, yeah, we're changing our name from Facebook to Meta.
Crazy. And then the logo looks like VR goggles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what he's trying to do, man. He's realizing it because he's losing tons of users, and he's losing the younger people too. Zuckerberg, Facebook's boomer town, bro. I don't know any kid that's even remotely even uses their chat.
Instagram, TikTok.
Yeah, it's TikTok, Instagram, even still Instagram. Yeah, I mean even Twitter's for like boomers, but I use Twitter all the time. But like these technologies are just I forgot what we've been going on with, but it's these I don't know what's gonna happen, man, but everything is going inside that blockchain. So Facebook says to everybody, they say like, okay, we're changing the name to Meta. They do that just to kind of look cool to try to get users back. Right. But when you see these videos of Zuckerberg, like the one I sent you, that was an official Meta video.
Right. I remember that.
Of like their interpretation of the future. Yeah. And that's what I'm talking about with like where I can control the volume of my microphone right here. Do you know what I mean? And it's connected with the goggles. Yeah. It's connected to there. That's the real future. Or the real future is, it's so scary to go outside. There's, COVID 9000. That me and you just put the goggles on and we're like, F it, man. I don't want to drive all the way over there, And so it's like, hey, man, you just put the goggles on.
I mean, it's like the Wall-E, right? Like everybody's like blubbered, like no muscle.
Well, that's where, it's definitely headed, and that's predictive programming right there, man. They just put it out in front of your face, like they did with Johnny Mnemonic too, man. I'm telling you, like
I gotta watch it now.
Because when that came out, I was like, "It's a bad movie, bro." Bro, like Ice-T's in it, like it's like it's not, it's not like
oh man, like,
but it's cool. It's like he's actually good in it.
Like it goes back to like like I'm sure when the light bulb was invented, like the blockchain technology, right? It's like it's a game changer for society, for humanity, everything, right? But the what's I gonna say? What were we talking about? The quote that I always go back to when all this, when the light bulb was invented, all that, like new technology is like the Albert Einstein quote, like you either think the universe is on your side or against you.
Yeah, no, dude, 100,000%.
And like, when you start to study the body and that's how we work and the fascia and all these things that I've been studying for neuroscience these last like 4 or 5 years, like pretty intensely, man, all the best guys, the best scientists, the best doctors, the Nobel Prize, nominated guys, like, they're like, we think we don't know, like they have no idea.
Yeah, it's all like a theory, right?
And then like, we talk about love, and I know it's like we're joking, and the Matrix resurrected, like love wins, right? Love overcomes everything. But it's like it's pretty crazy, man, like just holding a child and you see like the hormones getting released, just how we work, and us talking right now and the connections that we're creating, and then we're able to share that with the world just by putting the video online and audio and everything else. It's crazy.
It's just content, like just having content. That's what like all these social media things are. You're literally giving them your soul. I mean, you look at people with, 17, 18, posts a day. They're literally putting their soul inside this machine. Yeah. And when you're doing
it's picking it up and it's making, I don't know if you know Cindy.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
She was hacked.
Yeah, of course. And they always hack with a Bitcoin scheme too.
She got hacked, and they created a video with her and her saying some words. I didn't click on it because I was like, I don't want to even like, I saw that she was hacked because they was trying to sell some kind of thing, but it was crazy, man.
They made like a deep fake video with her talking.
Yeah. Like, this is real, guys. Something like that. This is real. Like click and go to the website or whatever. And you'll win, you'll get $8,000 in 1 minute.
That's crazy. So they actually made like a fake fake video.
Yeah, that's coming. All this stuff is coming, right?
That is, see, that's the next level.
And these are like low key guys, right?
Yeah. Well, they can take a deep fake kind of thing. Is like, well, they'll take a video of you or me, and then like they'll just from all the words in the database that you've said, you know, they can go on your like they do with Joe Rogan. Sometimes you can look up the video.
Yeah, I've seen it with Joey Diaz. Yeah,
the computer's so good now at like taking the words with the right emphasis, because it was always hard when you were gonna do like and it would be all choppy. But now the computer can just read the smoothness of the word. You can make them say anything you want, and you can make their lips move like in sync with those words.
Wow.
That's the deep fake technology.
Wow.
It's like people could just put a whole nother podcast here just based on the words that we're saying, and the computer would just mix it. You could just actually type it in and it'll find the words and just like chop them up. Bro, that's next level. I haven't heard that one.
You know,
that's like really next level.
We've talked about it before, like the George Gilder guy, the guy who wrote the book Life After Google.
Yeah, you always reference
and the emergence of blockchain economy, just because there was that Rick Kurzweil guy, the other futuristic guy, right? That he just, you know, basically like humanity is over, right? And George Gilder, well, he's not saying it like he's basically we're going to merge with technology. But the thing is, he wrote like these books in the 80s and stuff. Like the Reagan administration used a lot of his, like he had all of his cabinet read his book. I forgot what book it was, you know. He's just way ahead of the game, and he's smart, you know. But just on it, and then he has another book called like Sexual Suicide. Basically, we're gonna stop reproducing.
Yeah, I already see that.
And then I saw an article.
So next level, dude.
I saw another article. Right, we talked about this in Japan, right? People aren't having kids, and you know they're not moving out of their parents' house, right?
Yeah, the 80-40 problem. The parents 80 and the kid's 40, and he still lives at home with mom. That's what they call it. Because Japanese, you know, they live a lot longer life expectancy than us. And the kids they're just depressed. And enter the metaverse, depressed 40-year-old guys. You know, and that's going to already happen, because now they can't go get a job. They can't do this, but they can earn money in the metaverse by just walking around and clicking ads. Yeah, sure, man. Like, it's advertising. Everything. Google's advertising. It's all advertising, you know. Like it all really comes down to advertising. Where the money comes from, you're going to convince these people to, dude, walk around in my virtual land. If you click stuff, you'll get paid like by the minute, you know, to just
playing a video game, right?
Yeah, that's what they're doing in India. All these metaverse games that are happening right now, where they're paying you in like a shit coin or whatever coin it may be that they're paying you out in. These are really Indians that are just sitting in there. I mean, you can look it up. They're just poor, playing these VR games, and just so their wallet just keeps ticking up. Then they take that and they dump the coin so they can live just by clicking advertising revenue. I think so. Like the advertising, you're going to be paid to click ads. It's already happening, has been happening, but that's even the next level. But now the ads are going to be augmented, where it's like you'll walk into for example, oh my God, man, how we not even talk about this? Amazon with a clothing store at the Glendale Galleria. Oh. Did you hear that?
Well, I know they had a store in the Americana for a minute.
Oh, is it the Americana? Okay.
There was one there, yeah. Okay, there's nobody working there.
Okay, well, the Galleria Americana, whichever area it is, but it's in the Glendale. But Amazon's opening their first clothing store. So now, as if killing small businesses wasn't bad enough, now they're going to come to the 3D world. So, okay. Now it's going to work like this. You're going to walk. I saw a whole thing on it, dude. Now you're going to walk into the Amazon store and go, oh my gosh, I like this. You're going to scan the QR code. It's going to be ready with your size and your thing inside the fitting room already for you. So you'll walk to the fitting room. You won't even have to grab the physical item. It'll be waiting for you already inside the room. Like, you know, it's all convenience, right? But all this is just, it's just data. You know, so they're just collecting Amazon the data of like, oh, well, did they look at the green sweater more than they looked at the purple sweater? Did they look
like
at
I said, like going back to the Albert Einstein quote, it's like you're either going to go in a good way or in a bad way, and then there's like it's just all your perception, right, of things, and like what's when's enough and when's not enough. That's, you know, I don't know. Like,
so here's what they would say. Okay, the good guys or the bad, whatever you want to call it, the social planners, they'd go, oh, well, that's all makes marketing easier, because then, like, how do we know what the hot color of the summer is? Well, if everybody walks into our Amazon store, think of all the data that they can collect.
No, for sure.
Nobody looked at the white stuff
and
during spring. Then they
data.
know, then the hot color, people were looking at purple. Then you're marketed everywhere you go. Everything's purple all of a sudden. I mean, dude, stuff like that blows my mind. Then you just been programmed to the color purple, and you're like, oh wow, everybody's wearing purple. I guess purple's, the color to do. You know what I mean? Like, dude, infinite data they're just collecting when you walk in that store. I mean, I was like, it's supposed to be like the high tech store. Enter the next layer. Oh, well, why don't you just walk in our store with these goggles, and you'll be able to like touch the, look like cool stuff, and then boom, I press that button, and it's gonna be up at the register waiting for me. And then guess what, guys? The guy at the register isn't going to be a human with the mask on. It's going to be all AI too. So you'll walk up to the register and be like, oh, was this Ben Stream that ordered it? Boop, scan. Yes, it was. Done deal. And it's not going to be done by apps. You just have an app on your phone, bro. And it'll all just be done. I was like, oh, we're already there. It's right up the street where Legacy Glendale is, of course. The gym that I coach at, but it's right up the street. I think it's Americana or the
I saw
gallery.
I'm not sure if it was at the Americana, but I saw one at the Americana before. But maybe they have one in the.
It could be. It's either.
Maybe they moved it because of the pandemic.
It could be one of, I don't know, but they're both in the same area right here. It doesn't, or where I'm from in Glendale. So, but I mean,
so what's gonna happen with Jiu-Jitsu? You're gonna quit when the first robot comes in to sign up.
I am, but I'm done, bro. I talked to that to Dan with Dan a lot, our buddy Professor Dan a lot. Like, bro, I'm not teaching them how to beat us, and he's like, you won't even need to, man.
They're already be there.
They've already watched
this way. As soon as you think about it, it's already 10 years ago.
Bro, and it's like their spider guard, you know what I mean? It's like you're not going to be able to pass their guard. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's
gonna be interesting, right? Let's see what happens, right? But that George Gilder, like us being part, we already are with our phones, right? Like kind of like cyborgs in a way, but just making, like I don't know if that Neuralink or whatever the stuff that we're gonna do, to enhance. I don't know. It's trippy. It's a trippy.
But what is
somebody
it all?
hacks into that Neuralink?
But what is it all like saying? It's saying like for your convenience. At what point is like
you sell your
convenience is enough?
No, you sell yourself, right? Every time.
Yeah.
Like for convenience, right?
Yeah.
Like you see all these autoimmune things happening around the world that we didn't have 100 years ago or, like 50 years ago, like the things that we have now. And it's because if people don't have to struggle, like for example, even a simple thing like rolling your window down in your car.
Right.
You used to have to roll and, use some muscles, right, to do things. Now it's just like click a button. Same thing, even turning the wheel of your car. Like the power, everything's so easy now, right? You barely, and then you don't even have to turn around. You can just look at your camera in your car.
Which is the Wall-E thing. Yeah. They just do everything for us. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the next step is the automating the cars, right? Which is already in the works, right?
Yeah. Tesla's been working on that for a while. Yeah.
But easier and easier and easier. So we're like, we're built for all kinds of things, right? Hardship, and we're designed for, to be resilient and tough. But when you make things easy, like we're not getting the stimulation, what's going to happen, right? With our health, maybe there's going to be some technology, right? Yeah. That kind of tells us, oh, you need to do this. You need to, I don't know.
Of course, because it's been in the movies, like in, what was it? The Prometheus movie. She just puts a scan and it tells her exactly where the
cancer is,
the
bad stuff.
Part is in her body. Removes it, done.
Wow. Yeah.
You can make sure that all the cells are eliminated. I mean, dude, yeah, that's like the next level is like, who gets access to that stuff, It's like, it's not going to be the people who, are dissidents, you know what I mean? You got to have some money probably to do that too, but like, that's already there. They probably have that and we don't even know it, but, I think like we're at least 10 years behind.
What was that, was a pretty recent movie where they had that, it was like a race game, like, it was Anita. Like
Alita, that's my favorite movie. I love that movie.
Yeah. And so they were like, peasants down below.
Yeah, peasants, and we live up in the Elysium. It's the other one, the Matt Damon movie Elysium, where they live in a giant circle that like orbits the planet, and Earth is just a COVID infested nightmare. Yeah, but then it's like, you need your digital pass to get into the city, and then down their world just fighting for scraps, man. And you know, like it all comes in every one of these movies, these like dystopian things have a thing to distract people, whether it's like
Distractions,
the sporting event or it's like robot gladiator stuff, or whether it's like, you know what I mean?
I mean, that's what like
Roman, yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah, like the all the video, you know, the sports games and things like that, right?
It's all distraction, man. Yeah, but like they're gonna be even crazier distractions because while the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, you're gonna be playing the coolest VR video Madden 2030. Imagine like Madden 2040, where it's like, dude, it's just whole interactive, and you have the football in your hand, and you're actually like pretending you're throwing the football. You know what I mean? That's where we're at.
Yeah.
Nintendo did that a long time ago with the Power Gloves and the like moving your body, and then the screen emulates your movements. I mean, to a really super sophisticated, advanced level. You know, that'll probably be the 2030, 2040s. Man, it's going to make people lazier. Is the, you know,
we need the struggle, right?
Downfall.
The obstacles is the way.
Yeah, but then the social planners can continue to just do whatever. You give away more, you know, not to get too patriotic, more freedoms. You give away more things, offer convenience. And then it all turns into eventually like, well, we'll pay you for this convenience. You know, like I'm talking about, we'll pay you to sit in the metaverse and click on stuff. That's like the next level of it, you know? Just stay in the wheel. You know what I mean? Is how I look at it.
So we talked about NFTs at the beginning. So like, I can't really wrap my head around like NFTs.
Dude, it's tough.
It's like you buy a piece of art, right? It's connected to other things like you were saying, but a little bit about it, but it's like, it's hard for me to wrap my head around it. Like buying a painting for the metaverse,
right?
That's worth,
that's worth like 50 Ethereum or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, no, dude, it's like the art world itself is complicated. You know what I mean? So even understanding like how the art world on the blockchain works is even double complicated. But it's like, oh, can't the guy just like right click it and save it? Is always the joke, you know? Like people go, oh, well, that's my NFT. I just right clicked it and I saved it. And then the NFT guy is going to go, well, you took a picture of the Mona Lisa. Do you own the Mona Lisa? Mm. You know, that's like how, that's always the NFT thing. So then it goes, well, you know, since the blockchain is so, you know, it's a way to preserve our private data actually too. So like all that NFT would be a contract on your wallet on the Ethereum blockchain or whatever blockchain this NFT is from. And it's just a contract saying this guy with these sequence of numbers on his address owns that. That's all it is, dude. And then like there's people now, which is all going to be tax repercussions. Cause then if you go out and say, dude, I'm the owner of this $50 million like thing. And then your Ethereum address is like your name. Bro, it's like I don't want anybody knowing I own a 50 million.
Technical, and on the you know like
not to be technical.
I was just saying I'm like, oh man, it's too much, like too many, because you get lost, right? You're like, you just like I shut off.
It's just basically think of it as the contract that you own it.
Right.
That's all it really is. It's like, hey, I got the contract for that.
The contract, yeah.
That's all it is. So it's like imagine how much the contract with the Mona Lisa would be worth. That's what you're getting into now, of like the contract of the ownership, the contract of the ownership. Who owns it? Is it like that museum?
And if somebody's like, you know, like real art, like you said it, you know, somebody that was famous or whatever, or you know,
it's like a certificate of authenticity,
right? That was an owner before you, and then you got it from him. Then it's all of a sudden more valuable,
and
right?
It's all on the blockchain, and it's like, oh, look it, you know, it's the same with like you can honestly trace. Like this Superman #1 comic, almost the same way. Superman #1 is like this, you know, the first Superman. Just like I don't even know how many of them are, but they've all been verified, right? By people who like come over, comic book expert guys. They look for certain. They're like, oh yeah, this is an original, you know. So you can trace even then, and it comes with this little thing, and they write it up like, oh, I'm the authentication house, and you put that in with the Superman thing, and it makes it more valuable. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's kind of what the NFT is it's that like packaged in one. So then like when you sell the Superman, you're like, oh yeah, that's the Superman #1. I want that. and you're creating demand right there. Like, oh, that's valuable.
I get that. Yeah.
But then there's also money laundering.
It makes sense when you money laundering.
I mean, fuck, dude.
That's the way to money launder, right?
Yes. I mean, we're gonna get really technical, but yeah, dude, that's like.
But it's complicated, right? The real art industry
is
right?
also a money laundering industry too. So it's like it's a dirty, dirty game.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, you know.
Yeah.
So it's now come to. So anyway, the whole point is all these things that keep coming up, NFTs, all this, it keeps moving so fast. Like the government, no government can keep up with this, bro, because it's moving faster than they can even make a legislation. There's already like a workaround behind that, you know, and it just is going to keep going and going, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Then going back to the cryptocurrencies, right? Like we don't know which ones are going to, you know, are going to be the ones, right?
Yeah. Well, in 10 years, you look at the top 10 right now. Okay. We pretty much know in 10 years, Bitcoin will probably be there. Okay. We can probably,
it's never been hacked, right?
Yeah. Well, there's been exchanges, you know, that have been hacked, but no, not if you give your crypto coins up to exchanges, man, like what happened in crypto.com, nobody is safe, man. You want to be the custody of your coins. But the top 10 you look at, Cardano, they're not going to be there in 10 years. Who knows, man? Maybe they will. If they just, every crypto generation is like 4 years. And like the people who got really wealthy in 2017, who bought that Ethereum low in 2018, you know, when Ethereum just started going down, 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 they're reaping the rewards now, obviously, right? These are the guys that put like 90,000 on like, you know, ETH when it was like $80. You know what I mean? So they're like balling now, you know? So like the next generation will be the people that are balling off the Solana, the Phantom, you know, and the Avalanche. But I think right now, I don't know, man, it's tough with this market. If it goes sideways, I'll be happy, you know, because I don't think anybody's going to sell, man. I mean, they're just going to print more money and more money. It's just going to keep going.
And they're right. So we talk about the US dollar, right? As the, you know, so, you know, for me, I look at it as a way to protect myself or protect my family and whatever. It's things that with inflation, from inflation.
Yeah.
As inflation goes up, hopefully the crypto and all that.
Bro, it's ridiculous. Crypto's going to go up like 3 times, you know. That's what's happened. 2020, 80% of all the dollars in existence were printed from 2020 to now.
Right. 80%. That's crazy.
Insane. So, of course.
Say that again.
80% of all the dollars that exist now have been printed since 2020.
In the last 2 years, 80% of the dollars that have ever been printed have been printed in these last 2 years.
Federal Reserve balance sheet's up like 700%. What does that mean? It just means like the assets they hold, meaning they're just printing money and buying stuff with it.
I mean, the number one asset of the U.S. government, according to Robert Kiyosaki, and I read his book called Fake, you know, is the student loan debt.
Wow. Treasuries and student loans, and it's all just crap, bro.
Like so we're basically enslaving like our future.
Yeah, our future kids
our future.
We're financing the future.
It's like a big bubble,
credit.
Right? And then then you know, then you go into the cryptoverse and you know, you can get loans right on your crypto.
Exactly.
And there's no credit checks.
Yeah, not only that.
It's just math,
There's
right?
nobody there to.
It's AI.
If you fail, if like it goes down today, like 40%, 30% or whatever, bro, that's just what the market is. It's a fair market. People either buy the dip or they don't. And people, you know, if that happens in the stock market, minus 30, did they press a button and the team comes in with their hundreds of $1 billion and they just start buying stuff, you know, just to like, and that's how the Fed's balance sheet just keeps getting ballooned, because when the market dips, they don't want to give the illusion that, oh no, everything's fine. So they just start buying more stocks. And the Federal Reserve, before you know it, is the owner of the most stocks. You know, they own all the stocks in the stock market. It's like, it's trippy. They print the money, they buy the stocks, and then what? Do they cash out like when they sell the stocks? It's just weird, bro. Like we live in a really weird environment right now, man, and nothing's safe. You know, but at least when Bitcoin drops, I know there's no like Federal Reserve there to like tamper with it and mess with it and like, you know, make it worse than it is, because every time they print money, it just gets worse, you know? It's worse, bro. We're we're going to be floating here for like till 2030 of just.
How does it work on Venmo,
Dead.
on PayPal? Like, you know, they accept and you're able to transfer Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some of these, you know.
Well, you can have custody of it.
But you can't.
You can't send and receive it.
Send it or receive it.
Otherwise, that makes their dollar business look bad.
So you can buy Bitcoin on their exchange and hold it there, but you can't transfer it anyway?
Exactly. So what's the point?
Why would you buy it there then?
Exactly. It makes no sense.
Can you use it for anything?
I think you can like sell it into your account. Like if it goes up, then I can like sell it and then I can make money. They basically just want more money from you. But like it gets tricky. Like you can't take custody of it and send it to somebody, which is the whole point.
So you can buy it there and then it stays there and then you can sell it.
Yeah, and you can sell it and it'll go in your wallet and be like, oh, you know, you made like $500 off the Bitcoin dip. Congratulations, because we got all that info on the tax. You know what I mean? And then it's like, say you did that on a real scale and you actually did like $100,000 or something and you bought this dip on Venmo and you didn't know, you know, and then it goes up and you're like, oh man, it's worth 200,000 now. And if you sell it on Venmo, they're like, hey, Boomer.
There's a lot of information.
They're like,
right?
hey, Boomer, we got your $100,000 trade right there. We want 30% right there. There's your unrealized gains right there and all that. It's like, dude, even there, it's like, you just can't trust. I can't trust Venmo. You can't trust PayPal, man. Well, one I like is Cash App because Cash App lets you send and receive Bitcoin because it's the Bitcoin maxi, Jack Dorsey, Twitter CEO.
Okay.
Well, former Twitter CEO who just stepped down.
He's the Square or what's it called now?
Square, Twitter.
That's not Square anymore. It's called something
they
else.
changed it. I didn't know that.
It's called...
we still use it at the gym. I think it's still...
It's something with a metaverse. It's called...
oh, really? Of course it is.
Square. It's not Square anymore. It's something else.
Okay, I'll look it up. But yeah, that's the guy, Dorsey. Yeah, he's a big Bitcoin max. Yeah. It's crazy, bro. And Twitter accepting crypto now. You can accept crypto on your Twitter wallet. It's another way just to get tax identifications and, and transactions.
What's in it for these companies?
In my opinion, probably just the fees generated from the Bitcoin. I just want money. Like the
it's like another merchant account.
Yeah, well, exactly. And if you get, and now you're basically giving Twitter the keys. Hey, you can hold custody of this Bitcoin. So if maybe you run a successful business like Kardashian, imagine what she could do with that. Hey guys, donate like Bitcoin on my wallet for like this cool cause or like for this cool like thing, bro. Before you know it, with like 50 million followers, homie, she could have like like a couple Bitcoins easy by the end of that. Do you know what I mean? So then Twitter goes, we're in custody of 2 Bitcoins now. And then they'll be like, oh, you know what? Like, of course there's a sending and receiving limit. And they'll be like, oh, of course you can only send 5,000.
What's the solution? What's the solution for all this metaverse and, for humanity? What's the solution?
The singularity. You know that, bro. That way it's like, bro, you're going to have your own Alberto coin. And like, you're going to be like selling yourself to people in a whole different way to where like what is your worth even going to be worth? It's not going to even be like, oh, he's worth what he's worth in dollars. That's not going to be the case. It's going to be like he's worth what he is in like what he can offer with Alberto coin. Oh, this Alberto coin's like $5 now, like, but bro, it's going to be insane. It's going to be interactions with like, oh, you want like 50 Benny coins or something. And you want like, I mean, it sounds crazy, but it's leading to decentralization, deglobalization, and becoming one with these computers. You give up so much freedom. You give up so much of like convenience, like we just talked about. And it's so convenient at that point that you've just given in, and there are no problems anymore. You've just become one with this singularity computer, whatever it is, and there is no disease like we talked about. There is no, go take a pill for that.
Did you see the UK removed all their restrictions?
Yeah, man.
Like,
I did see that.
The masks and whatever else.
It's just getting, yeah. I mean, that's a whole other thing. But yeah, I did see that. Shocking, right? Bro, it's just, you still see people in like cloth masks, in California. It's just like, come on, man.
So what's the solution? Like I said, what I asked you is the solution for the for us as humans, you know, like what's the best things that we can do to prepare ourselves for, you know, as we go into actually let's explain the singularity.
Yeah, becoming one with the hive mind collective, the Borg from Star Trek. Basically, we're all connected. We're all basically learning and process from the same mother computer.
We are, right?
Yeah.
We're just going back in.
But then it's like, if like, oh, Benny, you know, I want to see that or something, I'd send it to you.
Like they talk about that, like the Big Bang, whatever. We're all from that Big Bang, right, thing. So we're just kind of going back in a way, right?
In a way, yeah. And then we're using the technological advancements to help us. So like if I get my finger chopped off, no worries. There's just I plug it into a thing and it makes me a computer finger. You know, like the real singularity, like, you know, that's like the 2030. Then, you know, having the technology to do that, that's definitely where we're headed, man. And the solution, I don't know, you either accept it or you don't know.
That's pretty much it. It's our mindset.
Yeah.
It's our perception of everything.
Like you always talk about. Yeah.
Do we let it, is it good for us? Is it bad for us?
Think of all the good things it can do, right? Curing disease is obviously a good thing, right? What I just described, like a serious medical thing, and there's no need for like a doctor to perform crazy open heart surgery. There's this computer that can do it with 100% accuracy, right? Of like putting your arm, connecting it back, stem cells, or, you know, something serious, you know, get your arm chopped, you know. But like, yeah, you can look at it like that, or you can look at it as negative to where like, dude, you have no privacy. The computer knows every single thing about you. It knows when you're not taking your Soma pills, you know. I mean, man, Brave New World. Do you know what I mean? It knows when you're not taking your, you know, your government shot that you should be taking every month or something. You know, you can think of all the bad things.
Right. That's it.
Hey, he didn't scan his code for his new shot, or like, you know, you go to take your new shot, or like the new booster or whatever, and you have to scan to get it. And then if they go, oh, he didn't scan to get it, he must not have it. You know, there's just, it's easy. It's just on, off, you know, like a 1 and a 0, you know, which is what the Matrix is. It's just like that reaction from that yes or that no switch is all like semiconductors are when they send stuff in a computer. It's crazy, man. And that's what we live in. But the solution is, yeah, like I think use it to your benefit, and then just don't let it run you though. You still got to go back to the human connection, man, and get actual physical exercise. Bro, they're trying to sell the metaverse to like obese people. Bro, have you seen it? No, they put on the VR goggles, and it's, you know, it's a robust individual. They're like, oh man, and they have like a little line of sweat right here. Like, dude, I'm just like, they're in their VR goggles. Hey man, is that a positive or is that a negative? Depending on how I look at it. It's positive because, yeah, dude, this guy's actually like, it took VR goggles for you to actually start getting your heart rate up. But in reality is like, it's bad because, of course, man, you want somebody to go smell some fresh oxygen when they run, or like, you know, get out there. You know what I mean? Like, actually, you know, but he's still moving and sweating. So is that really a bad thing? Do you know what I mean? That's depending on how you look at it. I think it's bad, but hey, some people might say, hey, well, it helped him get in shape. But then we look at it as guys who do jiu-jitsu and be like, bro, like, just go do it the old-fashioned way. You know, go in there and work out and sweat. But he's going to go, no, man, why would I do that? I don't want to catch COVID. I'm going to sit in the metaverse. And
I mean, that's kind of the split, right? Of you see, you know, people making their decisions, right? Now, and like it's in a way, it's like a splitting people, right? Dividing people.
It is.
You're either in that camp or you're in this other camp. But I think as we move forward, right, it's going to be, we're going to see, like it or not, whatever the hive mind or whatever, it's going to be clearer and clearer, especially as, you know, the 5G, I guess, is getting rolled out, and the Starlink and all that, the satellites up in space. So instead of there being a lag time on our cell phones and our computers, it's going to be like, you know, real time.
That's how it is in China, basically.
Is that 5G. How it is?
Yeah, my sister's been there like 2 times in the last year. She's all about it, bro.
Wow. And what does she say about it?
Oh, it's just, she says it's like living in the future. Beijing,
wow.
She's like living in Beijing is like living in the future.
And so,
I mean, just what I talked about. Your phone is the interaction with everything. She's like, people do not pay in cash. She's like, it's like, she said when she was there, she saw maybe one person pay at Starbucks with like cash. But she said that like every single person scans a QR code. the hive mind, bro. They all scan on their phones, every single thing. The cities are going to be smart cities. That's where it's really getting into too, where like, it's like your phone is linked to every aspect of the city, the public transportation, anything, the traffic lights even, like telling you when to walk, like if you're here and saying walk now.
And so she's been there this last year?
Twice. Yeah.
Wow.
And she loves it, dude.
And what just things
it's clean, but even Barcelona's clean.
What cities did she go to?
There's everywhere. She went to Beijing,
Shanghai.
I think so. Yeah. I don't want to quote her whole trip, but I know Beijing was like the big one. Yeah. I said it was just like, crazy, but hey, it's like an illusion too. There's like all these big buildings and nobody lives in any of these buildings in Beijing. Do you know what I mean? It's like, whoa, look at this fancy, and it's just a construction project gone. There's nobody like living in there and no physical revenue being made. It's just like, that's the real like inner kind of part of China. But yeah, they're the ones now, dude. Klaus, our boy Klaus Schwab.
Klaus Schwab, yeah.
The big world economic forum meeting this week.
Oh, really?
First 15 minutes. Yeah, he goes, he talks and he's like, yeah, we need to stop the gap of the rich and the poor. He lays out the Davos agenda, which is the world agenda. Yeah, talked about everything we just talked about. Smart cities, metaverse, everything. But guess what he says? He says, yes, I would like to introduce His Excellency, Xi Pengzhang or whatever. I don't know, I can't even say his name.
The Chinese
the emperor.
President.
The emperor. Yeah, and he goes, His Excellency, Xi Jinping. And he's like, right there, it's like, if that was 50 years ago, that would be like, the President of the United States, Mr. Truman, or like Mr. Reagan. It's not Mr. Biden or like Mr. Trump. It's, it's the guy in China now. It's like, whoa, he's the key speaker. He's the one.
And so what happened? They introduced him, or what?
Discussed what we're going to do for COVID-19 moving forward and all that. Bro, they're just laying it all out right in front of us. They say it's to, to stop the gap from, or to
the rich and the poor.
Yeah. And but it's going to make things worse. Yeah. It's just all, you need the digital ID was the big thing they're pushing. And the digital IDs are already being rolled out. And
that's part of the QR code, right? With the vaccination things.
Yeah. And then that's where Web 3 comes in.
What's Web 3?
Well, like Web 2 is me and you being able to go on Twitter and talk to each other. But Twitter owns all that stuff. I mean, obviously, right? A guy can
that's
go.
That's part of the end of the life after Google.
Yeah, and we're like,
it's the Web 3.
Exactly. So Web 3 would be like me and you are on some app that like some kid designed on Ethereum, and me and you are talking back and forth on Ethereum. And we own all our tweets. We own all our stuff. I mean, dude, you can't even edit a tweet. For like, if you make a mistake on Twitter, it's embarrassing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can't like go and edit.
You have to delete it.
Yeah, but they know every tweet that you've ever even said. They record keystrokes. I think I said this before. So if you like start typing a tweet and you're like, oh, I don't like that, and you erase it, they recorded like everything you just typed and erased. So your keystrokes are saved, dude.
Wow.
But Web 3 would be none of that saved. It's just whatever I finalize to send to you, whether it be a thumbprint, whether it be an eye scan, or my digital like code that only I know, and then we send stuff back and forth like that way. Everything's like complete ownership, decentralization is what Web 3.0 is. I believe in that, but people are saying
that's the life after Google.
Yeah, and people are saying the Googles and the Twitters, they're saying, no, Web 3 is a joke, bro. Like you still need a centralized person. Okay. What if somebody starts saying racist stuff on the Web 3 Twitter? Oh, what if somebody starts, Bitcoin scams on Web 3.0 Twitter? So then you start saying, well, there needs to be a government body, of course. You wouldn't want to offend anybody. You see what I mean? So it's like, that's why they say Web 3 can't work, because what if somebody puts all this, hateful stuff, and then somebody says, I don't like that. And then, it all comes back to like a social score of like, well, he's a racist guy who posts racist stuff. Give him minus 100 credits. And then it all brings in like a social score. And if you have this big, giant negative social score of like, man, this guy's posts are just all negative stuff all the time, then you won't be able to like buy stuff with your social credits. That's going on in China right now.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, social credit system. So like if you make a bad post or edgy post, it's funny, but nobody agrees with it.
Or you do something.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, cut this guy off, man. You know, bro, I'm for real.
I watched I watched a couple of episodes of that Black Mirror.
Like I've heard a few people talk about.
And there was an episode basically where it's kind of like a social credit score. You're like a 5.4, and people like liking your stuff, and it goes up, goes down on social media or whatever, And she couldn't rent a car because she got mad. She was trying to get to this wedding because it would bring up her social whatever credit score, as she could get a loan at a better rate to buy this house. Oh my god! And then her friend from childhood she didn't really like, but because she had a lot of well-known people there, like fives, whatever. She was trying to get to like 4.5 to get that loan or to get the house. They were going to be there, and if they like her thing, if she gives her the speech, her thing was going to go up. Oh man! And so she had to go, and then the flight ended up getting canceled, and then she ended up getting upset with the the flight, person helping, and so she gave her like a negative thing. Oh my god! And she got kicked out of the airport, and her thing dropped like 2. She couldn't even rent a good car.
Bro, that's like Yelp gone.
I mean, that's
the Yelp system. So now, like, dude, that's like the scariest thing ever. Because Yelp, as you're a business guy, you know how.
And you could see just by looking at people, like what they're just, it's like augmented reality, so you can see what
I gotta watch that. I gotta watch that. That's
he's like, you're a 3.5. Oh, you're a 4.5.
That's the future. That's like how it's working in China, dude. Yeah. And like this guy with this, all these positive followers, and he's got like the 7.0. He gets to walk into the special area in the airport. He gets to walk into the special lounges and like.
And what did your sister say about that?
No, I mean she's like off the grid.
Oh, okay. I mean, she's from out of the country.
Yeah, but then she loves China at the same time. No, she's like she like lives like she's against all this stuff. But then at the same time she likes China. So I'm just like, it's a weird thing they have over here.
Man, tell me about Apollo. You want to talk about that? And say a few words about that?
Yeah, well, Apollo's a company started, not company, dude. They're not even a company. Just a Discord server started by me and a few of my friends. Yeah, Apollo Crypto. We're gonna go live here in the next few weeks, but or pretty sure next week. But I've given you the invite. Just start talking on there and channels and tell us what's wrong. I gave you like the early kind of thing. I gave you a special role in the Discord server. Yeah, 2022 is gonna be all about Discord, man. I think I still think you can find value in these markets. But if you want to find value, go to Apollo Crypto. We'll be follow us on Instagram, apollocrypto.io. You can follow us and find out all the info. Mostly about Phantom, it's our blockchain.
Not that we're what's the disclaimer?
It's not financial advice.
For the financial advice. Yeah.
No, but I'm a guy. I've made people a few dollars.
Yeah, man. Everything like all you OB, right? Like Oracle Ben, like everything you said has come to fruition from. Yeah. I mean, it started with Phantom, right? And it should have started with Spell. All these different everything you've said has come up.
Yeah, no, and with that, well, you'll just hear me talking to my friends about like crypto, and it's like if you feel like jumping on some of the trades, jump on some of the trades. It's free. I'm not charging anybody anything. We had like big meetings about that. It just should be free. I'll talk to anybody on there, man. Come on, and I'll talk about any shitcoin, dude. It's like that's what I love to do.
Yeah, well, I appreciate all the advice and that you've given me and told me, like, it's always fun. That's why I love talking to you about these things, because we go deep into philosophy and religion and everything else, right? Like whatever is gonna happen, right?
Yeah, it's fun.
We don't
take ourselves too serious. Yeah, it's like I love Lex Friedman. He's a genius, but like it's like they get so deep and so like. I think you gotta have a little comedic element to it. Tim Dillon's that guy's name. He was on Joe Rogan. Like Tim Dillon. That's the guy.
Yeah. Man.
He's hilarious.
The metaverse is where it's at, man.
But he's on Twitter all day. So like he's seen what's on Twitter because all these people are on his timeline from crypto Twitter talking about Bitcoin all the time. So Tim Dillon's like he's got his finger on the pulse, man.
Well, I appreciate you always being a brother and helping everybody out with when they have some advice or some support, right? People ask because it's kind of hard to get you know, like involved or, you know, get moving, right? Taking action. Yeah. Who do you believe? Right.
Yeah.
And it's been really helpful. Like I've done the Brian Rose's courses and, and always talking to different people, but you've been like such a great resource because you keep it real and you do the right things. Right.
Brian Rose was pumping Cardano to you at 240, champ. Remember that? When he was there talking about Cardano. And I was off the camera and I went, oh my, he's doing this to them. Now look at it. Remember, the 112 now, bro. Ragged, homie. So, like, you got to be careful who you trust. You can always, dude, I'll talk to anybody about it. You know, I've helped so many people I do jiu-jitsu with. Probably what Apollo is going to be is a lot of jiu-jitsu guys because it's me, Isaac, and, you know, we have jiu-jitsu people. This is what I want. I want to educate the jiu-jitsu community about cryptocurrencies. You know,
keeping us connected, right?
And that way we all
in the reality, and you know, wherever we go,
and it's anonymous too. You don't have to join and be like, "Oh, I'm Gordon Ryan." You could just join and be, you know, Chad McFlurry. I don't know. But yeah, always a pleasure, man. Love you, bro.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Man.